Hey, this is MassX with a brand new Bleach Soul Resonance video. Yes, another one, and this one is interesting, okay? Because approximately a day ago, on a few different Chinese sites, including the Chinese version of TapTap, a letter from the producer came out, and it's lengthy and it had some video. So I wanted to go over it. So basically, and I'll put the links in the description too if you're interested, but it says, to all players, long time no see, I'm the producer of Boundary Blade. Mind you, this is a translation from Chinese, so everything's not perfect. I am very grateful for your long-term attention to Boundary Blade. In this quiet year, everyone must have been worried about whether the project is still alive. I'm deeply sorry that I was unable to respond to everyone's concerns and questions in the first place. But today I can finally tell you with certainty we are still alive and have never stopped developing. As we all know, we did go through a very difficult period last year. And that, if you're not aware, the company that they were a subsidiary of was selling off all their gaming companies. Well, I shouldn't say all of them, but a good chunk of them. And that is why everything had gone dormant and quiet, because nobody knew if this was going to survive or not at the time. And then it goes on to say, but in this uncertain process, the R&D team still maintains an optimistic and positive attitude and continued to work without paying attention to what was happening. Almost everyone is telling me with their actions, no matter how the external environment changes, we want to make the game. It is the simple persistence that allowed us to survive the chaos and confusion of last year. And finally, we can see the moon after the clouds have cleared. In short, everything is moving in a good direction and the game will meet you in the near future. I would also like to take this opportunity to give an explanation through this letter to all of you who have been silently waiting for me. Research and development intention. The work Bleach has always occupied an irreplaceable and important position in my heart. I became acquainted with Bleach in junior high school. Kubo's neat and clean lines, blah, blah, blah. It goes on just, puffing up Kubo. But it goes on to say that this sense of responsibility has been with me till now. For me, it is a great fortune to be able to make a game adapted from my favorite IP. So and so and so and so. It goes on just, talking about why I was so interested in developing this game. And then here's some more important stuff here. Inherited from the same source, the restoration of the IP has always been a concern for many players. As a genuine licensed product, inheriting the original work has always been the foundation of our research and development. The main storyline will be closely centered around the core storyline of the original work. You will relive the growth of the protagonist from the Death God Agent chapter to the 1,000-year Blood War chapter, which is crazy if that's truly the case. It will literally span start to finish of the Bleach manga. I believe that many people like me have been shocked by the storyboards and black and white cross-page spreads in the original work. Kubo's lines are simple and powerful. It goes on, but the key point of this is, and if you played in the closed beta with the NDAs, it did start from the very beginning. And so it sounds like that's how this game is going to be, but it will, of course, this will go if it's successful or not, but I don't see why it wouldn't be, all the way through to the final chapters. And then now he went on to talk about the focusing on polishing and discussing some of the new implementations that weren't there in the closed beta. For instance, cold weapon combat is the unique charm of Bleach, and the most characters fight with their own zanpakutos. As an action game, we have continued the cold weapon-centric combat setting in the IP and developed a ceiling system based on that feature. And they even put in a small video in there showing it. It's not the greatest quality video, but it's to show the point of what they've been doing. They even had a little disclaimer saying this is not the final product. The seal system, though, he goes on to state, is a counterattack skill exclusive to each character. You need to flexibly change the rhythm according to the characteristics of the monster. Use seal to block the fatal moves of certain bosses and counterattack, which brings high benefits and a sense of combat pleasure, and there's some video of that too. And as you can see, when it resets, making that, it does a counterattack that looks pretty powerful with Chad there. We've also got some more video footage with Rukia showing that off. It goes on to say, in short, most of the content of the current public beta has been developed, and we are still continuing to optimize and add some new gameplay on the original basis. The art and UI have been iterated and renewed, and the special effects have been fully upgraded. They've also added characters. Yorichi, Momo, Nemu are completed at this time, and Aizen and Ging have also entered the final tuning stages, waiting to meet everyone one day. Goes on to say the road ahead, the new plot content is being developed intensively. The main storyline will start from the day when he becomes the acting god of death and continues to the bloody battle, revisiting every battle. The atmosphere of the main city will continue to be optimized, whether it is Karakura Town or Soul Society. More passerby NPCs and side quests will be added, hoping to create a more immersive world. We are still polishing the gameplay, striving to bring everyone a more refreshing action experience while retaining the characteristics of the original. The next focus at present is to balance and differentiate the characters so that the different characters can adapt to different lineups and levels, restrain different bosses, and show their strengths. Does go on to say some more about, although the current combat mechanism takes into account the restoration of IP combat and the sense of operation to a considerable extent, the only drawback is the lack of the grand aerial combat scenes in the original. In our imagination, aerial combat shouldn't have a completely different gaming experience from ground combat, but unfortunately there are relatively large development difficulties in terms of time and resources. Despite this, we will still take air combat as a research and development direction, and perhaps you will be able to experience it in certain levels or gameplay in the future, which would actually be really cool if they did that. And the final words on this, our biggest goal at the moment is to bring to everyone this game as soon as possible. Even though last year was not smooth, we never thought of stopping. When writing this letter, I suddenly remembered the first demo of this project I made before, recreating the scene of Ichigo and Ukiura fighting on the top of the sky. Ichigo was once defeated by his opponent and was pierced through the chest by a huge black flash when it seemed that failure was a foregone conclusion. It was the call of his companions that made him survive and transform into a stronger state to defeat the powerful enemy. And he just shows that imagery right there that he's discussing. As mentioned at the beginning, our goal is consistent, simple, and pure, which is to create a high-quality action game that belongs to Bleach. So, yep, it sounds like it is definitely alive and kicking. We've seen these little snippets show up in China, which does concern me that we're not seeing it anywhere else, but you know what? It's probably easier. I hope the beta will be open globally and not just in China to start. But either way, this is really good news. I don't know. I personally am incredibly excited. I've been waiting for this game. It's the one game I really was looking forward to. And since I got to play it, I was even more excited because it was by far the best Bleach game I had played in a very long time. So I was super excited. So let's just hope this is all true, and hopefully by the end of the first quarter, we'll see a closed beta coming. But yeah, good news all the way around. So with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.